Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As most of you know, I am temporarily working at home now, so I thought I would take you on a little day in the life of my new at-home work routine. And if you guys want to see how I am making the best of a really bad situation and keeping myself sane, then keep on watching. Well, one thing that hasn't changed is I always start my morning off with a 32-ounce glass of iced water. I try to make myself drink this water before I have my first cup of coffee for the day. The at-home workout that I am choosing to do right now is from Daily Burn. You can get a 30-day free trial, so it's really nice. So I can put a link for that down below. And then I have it on my Amazon Fire Stick, and I am just going to pick out a workout to do. And I usually do about 15-20 minutes in the morning. And of course, I have to have my cup of coffee now that I drank my water. So this is the Bones High Voltage Coffee. I will show it here to you here in a little bit. I'm also going to have some Pure in my coffee, as well as some of this Stoked Fueled Creamer, which is my favorite now. Good morning. So happy Monday, Tuesday for when you're watching this, if you're watching it when it first was posted. So as you can tell, I am doing a whole day in the life. So this is going to be my new temporarily working at home routine. I think I've kind of come up with something that is going to work for me and maybe help with the anxiety I've been having about working from home. So you guys know I'm just such a scheduled person. So I decided I have to have a schedule. That's what I'm going to do. Even though I'm at home, working at home, I'm going to make myself have a schedule. So my work hours are 7:30 to 4:30. I think we can have some flexibility with that since we're working at home. But I think for me, I'm going to keep it that schedule for now and then just go from there. But I also wrote myself out a little schedule here. So on my schedule, I have working out, which I did my workout. I have my weekly cleaning list. Now that I've done a whole entire deep clean on my house this last week when I was off on spring break, I decided to come up with what I'm doing on Mondays, Tuesdays. So I showed you guys my Monday list is the front entryway and the living room area. Everything else has been deep cleaned, so it's just a matter of upkeep, and I think this is going to help it where on the weekends I'm not just bombarded with a ton of housework. I also be doing a little laundry every day. I also put down, I wanted to make sure I did a post on Instagram, possibly did an Instagram story and do a Facebook group post. If you guys are not part of my Facebook group, I will have the link down below, so check it out. It's just Keto Journey to Healthy. And that's it. That's really what I'm doing today besides filming this video. I'm going to get dinner started here in a little bit before I start. It's 6:30, so about an hour before I have to officially start work. I have to get my area set up for work as well because I had it all put up since this was spring break this last week. I kind of just threw everything together. So I want to get my area worked out. I do have a video call today with my department. So I did want to, make myself presentable. But that was another tip that I feel like is very important to people. If you're not used to working from home, as I am not, one thing that I noticed when I did it the first few days, and it was just so rushed the last time, I didn't have a really good area to work in. I didn't have enough space. And I'm just working all those kinks out. But one of the things that I think is very important to do for me and for people who are scheduled people like me is to get ready as if you were going to work. I think this is going to really help me. So I did my normal routine like I would if I was walking out the door in an hour. I went ahead and just did my hair, I did my makeup. I'm wearing clothes on top, but I still have leggings on, but that's just what's comfortable when I'm doing stuff. So I'll probably continue wearing the leggings, but if you're a person that just, feels more productive when you're wearing, regular clothes, then wear your regular clothes. But I feel like this is just going to help me feel like I'm in work mode, that I'm not in lounging around the house mode. So that's a tip right there. Plus, just setting yourself a schedule, having a routine and a schedule, I think is going to be really important for me. So I'll be doing that. Yeah, so only thing I've left to do, I need to do my cleaning. I need to do, I'm going to get my second cup of coffee, which I'll put my collagen in. I didn't put my collagen in this first cup. And I went ahead and just brewed a pot of coffee. I used the high voltage from Bones Coffee Company. I'll show it to you here in just a second when I do this other cup of coffee. So I'm going to do that. I need to get dinner in the crock pot. We're going to have roast tonight. And so I want to go ahead and put that in there. I will show you guys what kind of spices and stuff I'm putting in there, but I want to get it started because it is still a little bit frozen. It's not frozen all the way through, but it's still a little bit. So I want to go ahead and get that in the crock pot because I'll have to cook it for about 10 hours. It's a pretty big roast. So that'll probably be my dinner tonight and probably tomorrow, because I'm trying to eat leftovers as much as I can, or at least also for lunch tomorrow. We'll just see. I didn't plan out my lunches. I did plan out dinners. That's another thing. I didn't do a meal plan last week, and it just really threw me off. I think I just need to act as if things were normal right now. So I went ahead and just did a meal plan for the week, which a lot of my stuff is going to include a lot of leftovers. But I did really good last week, though, keeping the waste down. So we did definitely do that. I did not hardly have any waste or any leftovers that were not eaten. So that was a plus. But as far as lunches, I didn't really plan that out. I didn't do any meal prep because I knew I'd be home, and I may just kind of do it throughout the week. So like I need to cook some bacon. So I'm going to go ahead and cook some bacon this morning. So I have that for breakfast. I'm going to go ahead and probably while I'm cooking the bacon, cook up some sausages. Then those are something I can have for breakfast or for lunch. But I did also jot down some ideas, though, that I want for lunches and for breakfast and for snacks. That way I did have some ideas if I'm feeling, rushed or anything. I will log out and take a regular lunch just so I have, again, just some normalcy and some routine. So I will clock out for an hour for lunch. I could do 30 minutes and leave early, but my job is just so you never know when things are going to come up. So I'd rather try to work the whole 7:30 to 4:30. I believe our video conferencing call is at 2, so it'll be after lunch. I updated you on a couple things, though, what I did last week. So last week, again, was spring break, so I did a lot of cleaning. I did my whole entire house deep cleaning. I finished a book this weekend, actually. I have not been able to get back into reading again. It's just I've been in such a slump and a funk. I mean, I have been in such a funk, and I just know it's just anxiety, and I think having some sort of normalcy this week with having a schedule is going to help. But I did start reading a book this weekend. I actually started it 2 weeks ago and just never really got past the first chapter because it wasn't the book. It really was me. And the book is called The Other Misses by Mary Kubica? I will have a link down below. It is really good. I'll try and remember the picture of it up here. I think I did talk about it when I started it, but I finished it. Whoa, what a twist at the end. I thought I had something else completely, I had no idea. I would not have guessed this. I had guessed a couple of things, but it wasn't to this extent. So definitely some twists and turns at the end, which she is great at. I've read a ton of her books. And then last night I started The Institute by Stephen King. I used to be a huge Stephen King fan. I still am, but I used to, when I was in high school, all I read was his books. So I started that one last night, and I'm about 4 or 5 chapters in, so it's really good so far too. Which is funny because the synopsis of the book, as I'm reading this book, I'm am I reading the same book? I was really confused, and so then I flipped through. So I bookmarked it because I read on my iPad, And I went through it to go through some chapters to find some character names that match the character names in the synopsis, and they're there. So I don't know. This is just, you know how like Stephen King like sets up the scene. Definitely, that's what he did, was set up the scene, because this person, I mean, this whole thing is like nothing like the synopsis so far in the beginning, but it's good. It's engaging me. It's just, I'm thinking, okay, maybe sometimes it's just good not to read the synopsis of a book. Shows. I found this show on Netflix because I've been trying to like not like rewatch the same things over. Now that Friends is not on there, I would be rewatching that. I watch Gilmore Girls quite a bit on there. I've rewatched, I'm like on the third like time rewatching it. But I wanted to try and find something new. So I found one called The Stranger. It's a British like crime series. But it's like 8 episodes, 8 or 9 episodes. I don't know if it's a Netflix original, but it is so good. I binge watched that the entire week, and I'm done, and I highly recommend it. I'll try to remember to link it down below. I don't know if I can link to Netflix, but I can link to the show somewhere on the internet so you can see which one it is. It is really good, but I love like watching shows with accents, especially British accents, because I'm just so like, I love listening to it. But it is such a good show. So many twists and turns. If you like action and adventure and also like crime stuff and you're trying to figure out a puzzle, is so good. So many twists and turns in that. But 8 episodes, and it says it was the first season, but things I was looking up, it doesn't sound like there's gonna be another season, so I don't know why, you know, it's just one season as far as I know. But really good. So let me know down below in the comment section some other shows that you can suggest to me on Netflix so I can have something to do. But I think I'm gonna be reading my book a lot. Anyway, okay, I need to go finish my list so I can start working on time. So as you guys probably know, most of the like crock pot roast recipes call for like a packet of ranch seasoning and a packet of Italian seasoning. Normally I probably would go there and use those. I don't have any on hand. Also, they do have things in them like sugar and, you know, fillers, and I think probably maltodextrin and things in there that people like to avoid. So I'm going to give you an alternative if you're not using a packet of the ranch seasoning and a packet of the Italian seasoning. I'll tell you what I do instead. So first, to kind of replicate the ranch seasoning, I'm going to do 3 tablespoons of parsley, and I'm just sprinkling everything just right on top here. Oops. And then a tablespoon of dill. And obviously I'm just using all dried stuff here. A tablespoon of onion powder. And you guys know normally I don't measure, but when I'm doing this kind of stuff, I do try to measure just so I don't get, you know, have a good balance of flavor. And then 2 teaspoons of basil. A 1.5 teaspoons of garlic powder. I'm just gonna do probably 2 teaspoons. I like garlic powder. All right, that's pretty much for the ranch besides salt and pepper. Let me grab my salt and pepper. And I'm using pink Himalayan salt. Let me show you what that looks like so far. So there's the ranch seasoning. Now we're going to replicate the Italian seasoning, and this is kind of like a replication of that Good Seasons or whatever. Is it Good Season? Something like that. So we need a tablespoon of oregano, three-quarters of a teaspoon of garlic powder. Again, I'm just going to use my teaspoon. 1.5 teaspoons of onion powder. Whoa. Okay, not too much there. 1.5 teaspoons of parsley. Salt and pepper, basil and thyme. So 1/2 teaspoon of basil. And then 1/4 teaspoon of thyme, which is good for me because I'm not a huge fan of thyme. I don't know, there's something about the flavor, but I like to put it in there if it calls for it. And then more salt and pepper. Okay, let me show you that. So there's that. I think I'm just gonna kind of spread it around there. And then I'm also going to add in some beef broth. I have some left over from a recipe from this weekend, so I'm gonna go ahead and pour that in there. I just have it saved in this little jar here. It's probably just about a cup of this, I imagine. And there you go. Now I'm going to set it on low and cook it for probably about 10 hours because, like I said, it is still just a little bit frozen in the middle. So that's all I'm going to do. Normally I would put pepperoncinis in here, but I don't believe I have any. Let me check. I do have some of the rings, so this will work. I think I'm going to go ahead and drain off some of this liquid and put some of these in there too. This is why I like to make up my seasoning mixes ahead of time, because now look, I got to put all that stuff away. For my second cup of coffee, I am having one with my keto collagen. I have a link for this down below to save you some money. This is their new chocolate formula, amazing. And then this is the coffee I have. So I made a pot of this and it's all gone now. I gotta order some more because I really like this. This is just a plain coffee, so for those of you that wonder if Bones does make just plain coffee, yes they do. So I wanted to use this up. So I'm gonna enjoy my second cup of coffee and now get my work area all set up. One thing that I do while I'm working from home that I can't do when I'm at the office is I listen to a podcast. The reason why I can't do it at the office is because I'm in like a cubicle, and so I don't want to disrupt others, so I don't have my podcast, and I don't like to wear headphones because then I feel rude when people are like walking up to me and I have to take my headphones out. So I usually just have music on really super low, and plus some of the podcasts I listen to do have profane language in them because they are mostly true crime. So here's some of my favorites. So Court Junkie, Crime Junkie, Going West, Imagined Life, that's a really good one. It's not a crime one, but it's a good one. Not Guilty, Red-Handed, Supernatural, The Vanished, True Crime All the Time, True Crime All the Time Unsolved, and this Uncover one is actually a whole series. I haven't listened to it yet. And then Wrongful Conviction podcast. So those are some of the ones that I listen to. So I'm going to find one so I can have that going while I'm working. I'm actually kind of excited about having the podcast while I'm working, because I know I get kind of lost in it and I can probably get a lot of work done. I'm going to cook up some bacon for the whole week. So I'm just using my air fryer here. I do have this air fryer. I'll link it down below. I'm pretty sure it's in my Amazon store, but I will link it down below just in case, because I'm really bad at putting stuff in my Amazon store, y'all. I do always have my Amazon store link down below though. So I'm going to go ahead and cook this up. I'm going to have some for breakfast. Because I'm filming, I'm actually a little bit behind. I think on a normal day I would be fine, but because I'm having to move my camera around and then stop and talk to you guys, I'm a little bit behind. So I'll probably have to eat this while I'm working. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this at 400 degrees. I'm gonna do it for 20 minutes only because I don't wanna have to preheat my oven. Normally if I preheat the air fryer, I'll just have to do it for 15 minutes, but I'm gonna go ahead and just do it for 20 at 400 degrees. Have my air fryer going. I'm going to go ahead and cook these up as well when I'm done with the bacon, and I will be having a couple of these with lunch today. So simple breakfast. I already ate 2 pieces of bacon while I was making my eggs, and I have 3 eggs with a little bit of Colby Jack cheese. So it's lunchtime and I'm not really hungry because I didn't eat my breakfast until a bit later, so I will get something probably when I get back. So another thing I'm going to try to incorporate in my day, because I'm going stir crazy being in my house so much because I'm not used to being in my house so much. I'm used to going to work, and then at lunchtime I do shopping, or I just, just get outside and do something. And so that's what I definitely suggest. I'm going to start incorporating it into my day. I should have done it last week when I was home so much. I probably wouldn't have been so crazy. Today I do have to go to the store. I forgot to get bread, and my husband needs it for his sandwiches for work. So I am going to run down to Dollar General, which is just down the street from my house, and I'm going to get bread. And as you can see, I think you can see, it is pouring down rain, so a walk is out of the question. That's one thing I want to kind of incorporate is at lunchtime, and even maybe one of my breaks is take a walk kind of around the block. I don't really have a block where my house is, so I wouldn't be able to take a walk around my block at break, because I wouldn't be able to do it within 15 minutes, but I could do it at lunchtime. But I have to wait till the rain goes away, which is going to be forever. So one of the things I'm going to try to do is, even if it's just driving, just to kind of get out of the house. I hate to waste gas at this point, so I'm hoping that the weather clears up a little bit where I can at least maybe just go outside. I mean, maybe I could just even go outside and just sit on my porch or something. but I don't really have I have a one little tiny covered area. So I want to get outside and just kind of just breathe the air and all that. So I do suggest that. So that's going to be part of my routine is to do that. But now I got to run down to the store. So I'm going to go down and do that. I would not be going, I'm trying only to go to the store once a week, but I forgot to get bread because I don't eat bread, so I don't think about it. And they didn't tell me they were out. So anyway, I'm going to run and do that. I also forgot my husband's shampoo. I'm just thankful I do have 2 stores down the street from my house where I don't have to run all the way into town to grab the stuff. And then they're not as busy of stores either. So I'm not going to encounter a lot of people, and I'm just being safe, of course. Okay, I will show you when I eat something. Hey guys, so it's the end of the day. I just want to give you my thoughts on my new working at home routine. First thought, I am exhausted. I honestly feel like that just having so much on my mind, I'm trying to stay away from the news as much as I can. I'm trying to only check it like once a day or once in the morning and once in the evening, because I think it's just overwhelming me right now, and just a lot of the unknown stuff. I mean, I don't know. My husband's work is slowing down, but it's not slowing it down enough where they're doing a layoff. However, he's not working full hours. Like, he was off today by 10:30, so he only worked like 4 hours today. So it's not enough to claim unemployment. So so we'll find out more if they're going to end up doing a layoff, which is fine because right now they're supplementing the unemployment. So that'll be okay. But this not quite a layoff thing is making it difficult. And you just see it in my face, I'm exhausted, and I don't even know why, because I just sat at home today and worked, but seriously, using my brain all day today was just difficult. I don't know. It was just really weird. I think it's just I have so much on my mind. I'm sure you guys all can relate. It's exhausting. But as far as my routine went today, I feel really good about it. I feel so much better today than I did all last week, and even the 2 days that I worked from home the week before that. I'm feeling like having a schedule like this is going to work for me, and I think it's going to really ease my anxiety a little bit. I'm really hoping so anyway. But yeah, I just doing all my regular stuff that I normally would do before I leave for work. I did that, and I think I just need to force myself to do that, because otherwise I'll think, oh, I'm here, I can just stop and do it anytime. No, I'm thinking I need to look at this like I clock in at 7:30 and I clock out at 4:30. And we did find out today that our schedule can be a little bit more flexible. So if I can't start at 7:30 for some reason. So like today, I didn't do a couple of things because I was filming, and so it kind of put me behind a little bit. But so I stopped, and I didn't make my breakfast or anything until I had time to do it after I already started working. But now I know that it would be a little bit more flexible with our time, so that's nice. Let me turn this off because I think this is kind of creating, that probably made it really dark in here. I don't know. Anyway, I'm almost done. So if you guys are struggling with it like I was, if you are, trying to make a new normal of working at home temporarily, I highly suggest this. I highly suggest looking at it like you clock in at this time, you clock out at that time. So do your normal routine that you normally would do when you're on your way to work. But, if you had a commute time, like my commute time was only 20 minutes, 25 minutes, depending on traffic. So I didn't have a lot of commute time to have to play with, but for those of you who had a long commute time, that gives you something to play with there too. You can use that time to maybe do some self-care, so just think about that as well. But like I said, I didn't really have a big commute time, so it wasn't, that I can't really utilize that as much. But so I think this is going to work, doing my regular before work and then doing my kind of regular after work. And I think it's going to work really good. I just feel really good about it. And one really positive, I'm looking at this, I'm trying to find all the positives, but definitely one of the positives is that, I'm able to really enjoy my lunch because I'm not running around trying to do things. Now today I did have to go to the store, but, it's nice that I'm going to have some time to do, lunch. Like tomorrow, I don't have to go anywhere. So tomorrow I can maybe do some stuff on Facebook, on my Facebook group. I didn't get to do that today. I didn't really get to post anything on Instagram today. So those kind of things, I can take some time during my lunchtime and be able to do those things. So I feel really good about that. So I'm really like, I still feel it. Like I can still feel this like deep down anxiety. It's still there, but I think it's going to lessen up as we go along. Hopefully, as long as the outside world doesn't get even crazier. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close up here, but I will have dinner after this. I just heard the crock pot go off, so I'm going to go check that out. I really wasn't hungry today, so I didn't have any snacks or anything, but I do plan on learning how to speak. I do plan on filming what I eat, I think Tuesday and Wednesday and possibly Thursday, and putting up a video. I'm not sure if I'll do videos every day. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it all, but anyway, you will be seeing what I'm eating the rest of this week. But I just wanted to give you a little day in the life of my new working at home routine. So stay tuned for dinner. I'll show you that next, and anything else I may have for the rest of the night. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.